Hey friends, I've got a few videos coming out that's going to be talking about my new network that I'm going to be upgrading from two Airport Extremes, a 4th gen and a 5th gen. I'm going to be upgrading to the Ubiquiti Unifi hardware that you see in front of you. So if you want to see those videos as they come out, subscribe to my channel. When I'm done with all the videos, I'm going to be switching to cloud keys so I can monitor my network, security gateway so I still have a router so I can split between the internet that's coming into my network and then still have routing and everything going on inside my personal network. And then I have two Unifi AP-AC-Pros that I'm going to be replacing the Apple Airport Extremes with. So in this video I've already taken one of my Airport Extremes out, and that particular one was on the opposite end of the house, upstairs, so it's very far away from where I'm at currently. And on that side of the house without that Airport Extreme I have almost no Wi-Fi. In fact, all the bedrooms, you really don't have access to the internet via Wi-Fi. So I really need to get it replaced with one of these access points. And in this particular video, I'm basically just going to be unboxing this and then showing you all the hardware setup for this. There's not going to be any software. So before I get into the video where I start messing with the hardware side of things, I want to talk a little bit about why I switched to these Ubiquiti stuff. Airport Extremes are really expensive, and then on top of that, Apple's not making them anymore. So I wanted to get hardware that's going to be continually supported by a company that cares about Wi-Fi. So I've been talking to my friend who owns an ISP, and he's really suggested this hardware. And while I was in Florida, I was looking at different access points and Wi-Fi router solutions out there. And the ones that interested me that were consumer grade were way more expensive than these. But for the most part, they really weren't any better, or at least that I could see on just the wireless side of things. Maybe on routing they could have been, but once you throw in the security gateway, I think they fall behind. And granted, that makes this more expensive. So this is actually cheaper from what I could see versus any of the consumer stuff, and had better Wi-Fi and had a better rating. I mean, this is stuff that's supposed to be going into enterprise. So, I mean, they're not going to be messing around. They don't want to be dealing with drop packets. They want their Wi-Fi to work when they connect to it. They don't want to be fighting with it, so it's got to be better hardware. So that's why I chose this. And if you're interested, on Amazon, the access point is 130 bucks. This is like 70 bucks. And this is like another 100 bucks. So the cool thing about this is you don't need to have any of the rest of the stuff to make your wireless better. So you could just get one of these, plug it into the router that you already have, and then have better Wi-Fi immediately for just 130 bucks. But if you want to see links to those, go ahead and check the description below. But now let's go ahead and get into the hardware side of things. Alright, so unboxing, it's going to be kind of a challenge with just one arm and hand. But here we go. Got a little paper telling me about how great Unifi is and what products they've got. Protection. The actual access point. A mounting disc so I can mount it to the ceiling or whatnot. Quick start guide. Power over Ethernet injector. Power cable for said power over Ethernet injector. And what looks like mounting hardware. Yeah, got the awesome little drywall screws. Alright, so inside my server room, I've got the power over Ethernet injector, and I've got the cable that's going up to inside my closet inside my bedroom, number 7 right here, going into the PoE port on the injector. And then what I need to do is make a cable coming from port 7 on my switch down into the LAN on the PoE. And then once I have that hooked up, I need to make another cable for the actual access point inside of my closet. And once I've got all that made, we'll go ahead and meet up inside my closet. Just real quick before we go upstairs. When you plug this in, there's no lights on the actual ports, and there's just this one light on the top of it that lets you know it's on. That's it. And I've got the LAN cable coming from my switch into the PoE box, and then from the PoE port to my cable that's running upstairs. Alright, so let's go upstairs and plug the sucker in. Alright, so I've got it hooked up. It's like so. And I can tell there's no lights on it, so it's kind of just a white orb or whatnot. A white disc when it's actually hooked up. So I'm just gonna put this over here on the floor in my closet, like I mentioned. Just gonna make it like so. There it is. So after going and messing with the software, I realized I didn't actually have it plugged into the correct port. So on the bottom of it, I had it plugged into the secondary port, so like what you'd put into a switch or some other Ethernet device. And I had to come back up, switch it to the primary port. Once I did that, I got a blue light on the top of it. So here's that. Alright, so before closing out my video about set access point, I wanted to show you on the bottom, just kind of up close, or as up close as I can probably get. See right there, it says main, and then this is the secondary. This is the port that I had it plugged into. So don't do that. It's not going to hurt it, but obviously doesn't work if you do it that way. And then to go over specs real quick, it's got 3 dual band antennas that are 3 decibels each, and it's able to run both the 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz frequencies at the same time. So that works really well. And then it's got a max power consumption of 9 watts that can be powered over Power over Ethernet, or PoE. And that can be with the supply PoE injector that you saw in the video, or if you have a PoE switch, you can run it off that, or if you've got a previous PoE injector, that should work fine as well. However, if you need the exact specs, go to Ubiquiti's website. And then it's got 2 networking interfaces that I showed you. They're both gigabit, so they're capable of 10, 100, 1000 megabits per second. And then the Wi-Fi standards are 802.11 ABG-in and then AC. I'm going to show this in another video, but just plugging that into my network, replacing that one access point / router that I had upstairs, I now have Wi-Fi throughout my entire house. And then I live on top of a 1/4 acre, and I can get at least 40 down. I have 250 down and 30 up thanks to Comcast, but via Wi-Fi at the furthest points of my property, so just as far as away from on my property that I can get at least 30 down and 10 or 15 up. So I mean that's just one of these, and it's sitting inside of my closet. So it's ridiculous how good this one access point is. I really recommend, if you need better wireless, get one of these bad boys and just plug it into your current setup. You'll love it. It's really, really great. It's actually pretty easy to set up. Look for that in another video as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you catch all my other videos about upgrading to Ubiquiti in my current setup, and I'll see you in the next one.